I'm Rachel Belle, and this is Your Last Meal, the show where celebrities share stories about the foods they love most, and we dig into the history, culture, or science of those meals with experts from around the world. Today on the program, Lachi.
Lachi, she, her black girl cornrows. She, her black girl cornrows. She, her black girl cornrows. High heels, gold wrist, black girl cornrows.
Lachi is an award-winning recording artist, CEO of Ramped, recording artist and music professionals with disabilities, host of the PBS series Renegades, disabilities advocate, and author of the new book, I Identify as Blind, a brazen celebration of disability, culture, identity, and power.
I say, my name is Lachi, and I'm a black woman with cornrows. I identify as blind. Now, I used to say, blindness is part of my identity. I am proud of my blind. I used to say this much longer spiel, but so I started saying I identify as blind because I just don't really like it when people say happen to be. I want more pride there.
Lachi believes in breakfast for dinner. Lachi loves cheese. And learning to cook was one of the ways her mom taught her independence as a young vision-impaired girl. Later in the show, I'll chat with the founder of The Blind Cafe, a pop-up dinner in the dark that's been going strong for 15 years. But right now, let's jump into my conversation with Lachi.
Cornrows, just our black girl cornrows.
Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing, my friend?
I am good. You know what? We're not just friends. We are practically co-workers because
Yes.
I work at PBS in Seattle and you have your PBS series Renegades.
Yes.
So it's like, see you at the company party.
I know, right? Let's hang out by the water cooler before we go down.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, we could talk about all kinds of interesting things like, the weather, traffic. Yeah. Lachi and I exclusively talk about food in the second and third segments of the show. But she does so many interesting, important things and has such a great story. I wanted to properly introduce you to her first. I have heard you in other interviews and read that you said that when you were a kid, you were really quiet and shy. Yes. So I'm curious, when and how did you come out of your little cocoon and blossom into this confident powerhouse of a butterfly?
Yeah, it's so funny because I don't know that it was one specific thing. I think it was more of a growth. You know, music has always been a part of me that has, the better I get at it, the more confident I am, right? So music has been like a note of communication for me and a way for me to understand the world and the world to understand me. So as I just got further in my music career, as folks started to really call upon me or know my name in these bigger and better rooms, I started to gain confidence. Now, I didn't really start to become a social butterfly because I was hiding my disability. I was unopen about my neurodivergences and I was downplaying my different disabilities, right? And I think it was when I just decided to come out and be proud and in front of my different disabilities and neurodivergences that things changed. Like, here's a great example. I had gone to some music industry mixer of who's whoses, right? I had been invited by the assistant of some big music exec. And he wanted to talk to me. So I go. It's dark, which was difficult for my legal blindness. Back then, I had much better vision. I had no cane yet because I wasn't doing the cane thing yet. And so I'm sitting in the corner and then I eventually just leave because I felt awkward. I didn't talk to anybody. It was just like too many who's who's. I didn't know what to do. Like there were probably celebrities there. I wouldn't know. And then I found out later that big A&R had waved me over and felt snubbed. And I was like, okay, you know what? I got to change something here. So I started using my cane. I started asking for accommodation to really let people know, hey, this is how I can achieve my best in the studio, achieve my best at this networking event. And that really allowed me to come out because you know what happened? I started using my cane. I go to these events and I started blinging the cane out because I have these glam canes now. And I would go to the event and people would be like, whoa, that cane is dope. And it would start the conversation. Or they would know I can't see well. So if I said hi to them for the fifth time, they would get why and then just buy me another drink. You know what I'm saying? So I think it was coming out that really opened me up.
Lachi has her own line of canes called bling canes. And they are exactly as the name implies, blinged out with rhinestones.
I was told to use my cane when I was like 8. like a long time ago. So I was supposed to use it, but I was like, I'm already kind of being outcasted. I don't want to like bring even more attention to it. But the interesting thing is, Rachel, that when I started using the cane, my whole everything opened up. Everything that I was afraid of in using the cane, the exact opposite happened. Number one, I stopped hugging trees and mistaking them for old friends, right? So that was number one. Number two, I felt proud. The cane today, for me, one of the reasons I bling it out is to combat the erasure that I was perpetuating, right? There's so much stigma. I was afraid of stigma. I wasn't afraid of anything else but stigma. God, how do I put this? You know, someone had given me, by someone, I mean a licensed professional doctor, had given me the opportunity to wear contacts that would fix my very specific keratoconus issue, which is with my cornea, and make me see just a teeny bit better. And it was such a hassle to put them in. It was super expensive. It was just a lot. And I remember thinking, you know, it's a lot to be going to these doctor's offices, putting all this in, constantly getting these reshaped. I don't feel like doing it anymore. So I'll just be blind. Right. And so
yes,
it's like with my cane, with my sighted companion, with my Zoom text, with my screen readers, I don't need that. And I had realized that I was trying to get the contacts not to see better, but to just be more accepted. And so it's like, well, it.
Just be you. And it worked.
And it seemed to work out, Rach.
Oh, God, I love when people call me Rach. I'm like, now you're best friend and you're never going to be able to get rid of me. You want to come to my birthday party? You want a pony? Okay. Tell me about RAMPed, which is an acronym for Recording Artists and Music Professionals with Disabilities, which is the organization that you founded.
Yeah. So RAMPed is my heart, soul, and joy. One of the best things we ever did was the acronym. Okay. That acronym is FIRE. Everybody bow down to the acronym. So really, we're trying to make cultural change. If anyone has heard of RAMPed, they know us because we bring American Sign Language to the red carpet of the Grammys. So that's our big, like, viral claim to fame.
That's you.
That's us. We do that. Yes.
Yes. And these interpreters always get a lot of attention because a lot of them are very expressive.
Yeah, they're
when they sign.
Very fun, very expressive. We work with a group called Pro Bono, and they are all BIPOC, Black and brown interpreters. So it's really, really fun. But we work beyond that. We do everything from leadership pipelines, like getting folks onto the boards of some of these highfalutin music organizations and labels and associations, everything from the Recording Academy to the Audio Engineering Society, et cetera, et cetera. And we've worked with folks like Live Nation and Tidal and Spotify and Netflix to bring opportunity to our membership, but also bring awareness to the larger music community. Because I personally believe that, the way hip hop has sort of amplified Black culture, the way, rural country music has amplified rural culture, really what RAMPed is trying to do is amplify disability culture, the disability stories, by harnessing the power of music and letting folks behind the scenes, from the green room to the mailroom to the boardroom, all have opportunity within the music industry to amplify disability culture and ultimately crush stigma.
After the break, Lachi confesses the mac and cheese sin she committed as a child that really bugged her 5 brothers and sisters, and you'll be introduced to the Blind Cafe. One of my favorite places in the Pacific Northwest, the most charming little seaside village, is Langley, Washington. Langley is on the south end of Whidbey Island, just a 20-minute ferry ride plus a 35-minute drive from Seattle. And if you love mysteries, if you are a true crime or murder podcast junkie, you're going to want to spend the weekend in Langley, February 21st and 22nd for Mystery Weekend, where locals and visitors run around town collecting clues, living in a story that local writers have created, interacting with costume characters, adventures trying to solve the big mystery. The clues are planted in local shops, like Grey Horse Mercantile, a dreamy specialty food shop that sells cheeses, my favorite brands of chocolate and tin fish, the Star Store, a Langley classic, and Beer Cutery for more cheese and chocolate and beverages. Book a place to stay and spend the whole weekend solving mysteries, eating great food, and maybe even winning big prizes. Plan your trip and learn more about Mystery Weekend at visitlangley.com. That's visitlangley.com. How did food help shape your independence?
This is something that I kind of highlight in my book because it is a bit formative to my journey. So, as folks know, my name is Lachi, like Versace, and it's short for the term Ulachi, which means ring of God. And my mom named me that because when I was born and they found that I was legally blind and had very low vision, she figured I would be like a ring on her finger, always by her side. And she had 7 children. So I was the 6th of 7, Catholic. And, my parents were Nigerian immigrants. And so food was important. One of the earliest memories I have is having fufu with ogbono soup and having it with mushrooms because I don't know, I really loved mushrooms. I love that they were weird and different. So my mom would always cut up and put mushrooms specifically into my soup. But the thing is, though, is that my mom really wanted to prioritize my independence, namely because she was like, we came here to America to like do capitalism or whatever and like win. So like get your shit figured out. Oh, God. So one of the things that she taught me at a very young age was about cooking. She taught me how to turn on the stove and boil hot dogs, very simple stuff, and boil like noodles. And she taught me how to line up my fingers so that I could cut the hot dogs without cutting my finger. She got me this like big ball magnifier that I would put against the ingredients that are very tiny so that I could read the ingredients. So she taught me all that stuff. And I remember at one point we were at the store and she was buying something and she said, here, tell me, what the serving size is or something. And I used my magnifier and I was looking for it. And I remember I told her, I was like, I'm so embarrassed that I'm looking all really close. Everybody's going to stare at me. And she said, you know what? Like, don't worry about people staring at you. Worry about you having a really, really good meal later. So
having a meal at all.
Yeah, I know, right? So it really shaped me, these moments of independence that she would give to me. Like another example would be like if people would say to me, how is she? Is she okay? My mom would say things like, ask her. Right. And so she really prioritized my independence. And one of the reasons why I love to bring this up is because today, obviously, I'm like this huge social butterfly. I do a bunch of speaking engagements and I'll talk to different audiences of, say, parents or caretakers. They'll say like, yeah, what did your parents do? And I always give them this story of how my mom taught me how to make food. Because it wasn't that deep. Because even in my own memory, like, and when I tell them to it, they get choked up. I get choked up. It's such a beautiful story. But like when it was happening, it wasn't that serious. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's very practical.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like, here, you know what? Know how to do this because like there's going to be a time when everybody's too busy doing their own stuff. And I want to make sure that like all your brothers and sisters take care of you. But I also want to make sure that if they're running off doing their own thing, you're not just left in the dark. When I finally stepped out into the world on my own to do this thing called disabled life, my inner child already had a few stepping blocks to get me started.
So when you were a kid, did you actually take advantage of these skills? Did you cook at home like without assistance?
Yeah. I would cook hot dogs. I would cook noodles. I would cook the mac and cheese box set, and I would go ham with the, what I would do. Everybody hated that I would do this. I would take 2 boxes of Easy Mac. I would boil one, and I would throw the other out, and I would use 2 of the gooey cheese things on one. I obviously have a cheese problem. So
That's so funny. Last weekend, I was in California visiting one of my best friends, and she has a 10-year-old daughter. And my friend is a single mom. And so she's very good about asking for help. And I love to organize. So she's like, will you help me organize all my pantries? Everything's a mess with the food. So we're like pulling everything out. She has all these Ziploc bags full of tiny pasta and Kraft mac and cheese without the cheese powder. And I'm like, what is going on? And that's just what you said is what her daughter does. Her daughter takes the cheese powder out and uses them up double. And then there's all these noodles left over.
So I'm like, Kraft mac and cheese, put more cheese. I don't get it. Like, hello.
They say they're the cheesiest, but are you really?
Are you really? You just want us to buy 2 packs for 1 cheese. I got you. I see your scheme.
Lachi has a partner in love and life named Arthur. His name is about to come up a bunch, and I wanted to make sure you knew who we were talking about. Do you cook now? Do you like to cook?
Nope. And I gotta say,
have an Arthur.
I identify as someone who does not cook.
Proudly.
Well, it's so funny too, because like all of the lessons that my mom teaching me how to cook when I was young instilled, the one thing I didn't take with me was the cooking part.
Is it something you just don't enjoy doing?
It's not. I mean, maybe. Honestly, I just don't do it. First of all, Arthur is our resident chef. So like Arthur is so good at so many things. Like he's my makeup artist. We go viral on Reddit for our makeup looks. In fact, we get stopped on the street for our makeup looks. And I'm like, stop me on the street for my music. Like I'm an artist. He got really, really good. We had a makeup look go viral at the White House. And then from there on out, all of our looks have been going viral. I mean, it's really great. He gets a lot of positive feedback, but it's interesting. One of the things folks say is like, oh, it's a non-disabled person being so kind to a disabled person. And it's interesting because I'm like, well, he's neurodivergent and he's also colorblind. So like, I don't even know how he's doing it.
Oh,
it's really weird.
Interesting. So, like, nobody knows what it really looks like.
No one, none of us. We're just like, ta-da, you know.
yeah. That's really all that matters, right? Like when you think you look great, I mean, that's really all that matters.
That's all that matters. But also his cooking, he's also a great chef and he loves to cook. So he actually like really enjoys doing it. And, you know, every once in a while, I'll surprise him with like, I'll like make a scrambled egg and then like do what I can to make sure like a meat isn't still red inside.
You are an angel from Chef Town. Wow.
But he's totally the chef. He loves doing it. I don't like doing it. And he loves to like grill. We'll do stuff like we'll invite like big wigs, like big, you know, entertainment wigs over. And he will grill for them. And all of a sudden they're drunk. They're eating his food and we're like, so about that contract, now that you're trashed and eating all our food.
Yeah. He does their makeup. Everything's good.
Exactly.
Talking about food with Lachi reminded me of a dinner I went to years ago in Seattle called the Blind Cafe, a pop-up restaurant experience that travels around the world. When we arrived, we were ushered into a pitch black, completely dark church basement by a blind ambassador and served a meal. Phones off, no smartwatches, 100% darkness. The Blind Cafe was started by a guy named Rosh.
My given name is Brian Roshlow, but I've been called Rosh since I was 6 years old.
In 2007, Rosh was in Iceland when he stumbled upon a pop-up blind cafe in Reykjavik, a dark cafe where all the waiters were blind. He was handed a cane and walked into a dark room where he had to find a seat of his own. And the experience made a big impact.
I had been going to a Tibetan Buddhist-inspired university in Boulder, Colorado called Naropa University. And while I was in a diversity class, I happened to tell the story about this cafe in the dark that I went to in Iceland, which was just a temporary one, and how I had this idea that I would like to do a concert in the dark, also share food. As a songwriter and as somebody who's always been the kind of person who wants to bring people together to connect, music and food is a way that we all know it, right? This woman, Ruth, who's blind, came up to me afterwards and was like, that's a cool idea. You should do it. My idea was, I want to like get everybody in the dark, put all the food on the table, help everybody like slow down and connect and have to be present. I had a friend who had a farm. He was a chef, and he rallied and got all our friends together and made this like amazing. And it was like a green peas with, I don't know, ricotta cheese, something awesome. And when we first did our blind cafe, we had 3 big bowls of food in the middle of the table, and people had to grab the bowls and pass them around in the dark, right? But they can't see the portions. So by the time it gets around to the 6th person, like all gone, one of the bowls is all gone. They didn't get food.
Aw.
So later we adjusted things, but I had a friend who ran a church. He offered his space for a couple of days. My band, I play guitar, and I have a whole quartet that performs with me, violin, viola, cello. We rehearsed in the dark for 5-6 weeks. We sold tickets. Marcus made all this amazing food. I think we had like poached pears with some kind of ricotta cheese or
It's always
dessert.
something green with ricotta.
Yeah, I'd be so. So that was 2010. We did the very first 2 blind cafe experiences, and it was just a one-off. It's just going to put people in the dark and see what it would be like if we were to all slow down and be able to be more present with each other.
Eventually, Rosh worked out the kinks of those 2 initial events, and the blind cafe evolved. Instead of serving the food family style, people sit down at the table and have their own full plate of food in front of them. And Rosh hires legally blind folks to be blind ambassadors. What are the blind ambassadors doing during the meal?
My blind friends will lead the group of 6 to 8 people into the dark, sit them down, and we make sure that nobody's losing their make sure everybody's feeling okay in the dark. So they're blind ambassadors, not blind waiters. And the cool thing is we get to pay them and create jobs. Well-paid, meaningful work for the blind ambassadors. Cool. So the blind ambassadors sometimes hang out at the table or chat.
I went to an event a long time ago in Seattle, and I remember there was like some kind of speech made or story told or something, but I can't remember what. The blind ambassadors got up and spoke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what happens, everybody breaks bread together for about 30 minutes. We ring the Tibetan singing bell, and then we get everybody's attention, and then our blind ambassadors share a little bit about their lives or their journey through non-sightedness. And then we engage the audience to maybe share what they're experiencing in the moment, and then also some curiosity and questions around blindness. And it's pretty cool. I mean, it's amazing. I mean, there's so many levels happening here. And then we move into a concert. So you hung out with me. We've been in the same room.
At the end of the night,
I light a candle and then the whole room opens up. And there's this like really precious moment where like we all have sight again. And it's as if we all woke up from some collective dream or whatever. After a few minutes, I'll have everybody at their tables share with each other what came up in the dark and talk and connect with their folks by candlelight.
one of the things I thought was most interesting was you're not told what you're served. So you're eating without knowing what the food is. And so you're trying to guess, like, what am I eating? At the end, when the lights came on, so many people at my table hardly ate anything because they were afraid because they didn't know what it was. I eat everything. I don't care. I'm like, they're not going to feed me something poisonous or gross. Like, I mean, I don't have really many things that I dislike. So to me, it was fun. But like my two friends that I brought, I remember they hardly ate anything. And ours was very simple. I remember it being like hummus and pita and raw vegetables. Like it was kind of snacky. Those are the only things I remember. But I just thought the psychology of that was fascinating to not have trust.
It is fascinating. I've heard this a lot. And the whole trust piece, because, but I mean, it must be just instinctual because, you know, if you don't know what you're eating, you could die, right?
But not in this situation.
Yeah.
And also, like, I smelled things and you touched things. Like, it's a chance to use your other senses to solve a mystery. So you've been doing this since 2010. Broadly, how many people have experienced this?
I think we probably had at least 10,000 people in the dark, I guess.
And you've taken this all over the world?
Yeah, we've done it all over the world. We love doing it.
After the break, Lachi tells me what food has played the most significant role in her 20-year relationship with her partner, Arthur. I just want to get to the crux right now. So tell me what your last meal would be.
Oi, 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 oi. So my last meal would be, okay. So it's slightly complicated because it has a couple of options, but it depends on the ingredients the folks have. So my last meal would either be a runny egg or a sliver of salmon for the meat, right? Like a tinge of spinach or like a quarter of a cut up red pepper. And then sour cream, of course, a sarcastic amount of cheese. And it's got
What is a sarcastic amount of cheese?
Just throw it on. Just get you buy the 3 cheese, Mexican cheese thing. Just kind of hold it over it. Just turn it over.
Dump it.
Just dump it over. And then go ahead and put all of that onto a tortilla, a corn tortilla, very specifically. Put that crap on a pan, get that cheese nice and gooey, roll it up and hand it to me. Now you can have a side of sour cream. Okay. You can also offer me some mustard. Yeah, I think I'll take some mustard as well.
Interesting.
It's like a sandwich. It's a sandwich, essentially.
Okay.
It's a rolled sandwich. And then for a drink, I will have a double shot of mezcal with a tahini rim and a splash of muddled lime. Now, you are going to say that I am being very particular.
No, this is a food show and I'm obsessed with food. So I love people who are also very particular about what they want to eat.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I love texture. Almost as much as I love taste. And so there's a lot of different textures here that I love to just shove in my mouth and goo around.
Would you consider these little things tacos?
So yeah, I'll have it. So yes, essentially I would consider them a taco, even though they're not like the typical taco. Try my best to not have too much wheat, grain, et cetera, et cetera. So I love just having them in like a corn situation, and the taco is always the best.
For her last meal, Lachi wants, I'm honestly not really sure what to call this, cheesy eggs in a corn tortilla with a rotating cast of other ingredients and a double shot of mezcal with a tahini rim and lime.
So the thing about food, especially for me, is that food is a story. It always has a story, especially your favorite food. And it's usually something that has to do with either a relationship or your childhood. So for me, that particular meal is what my partner, Arthur, makes for me probably every day if we're not on tour. Like if we're not on tour or if we're somewhere, like we have to be there for a long time and we actually go to the grocery store, we will just get these ingredients and make these. So when I first got with Arthur, and we got together a million years ago, we got together when we were kids, we hung out and we just stayed up all night like kids do. And he made me eggs. He didn't really know how to cook at that time. He was just like, here's eggs. We're hungry. It's morning time. So I'm going to make eggs. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. And we weren't together yet. We were just kind of friends for a while. But when we got together, it was just always about eggs. It was like crepe eggs or eggs with this or poached eggs or this or that. And this is kind of what we landed on. But I mean, we've been together, 2 decades. And he's been making me eggs all the time ever since. And we're like a cute little neurodivergent couple. He's got ADHD and a few other neurodivergences. And then I've got ADHD, OCD. And then I'm, legally blind. And we just support each other so much. This is just such a beautiful, normal thing in our very chaotic, always touring, always running around, always working lives.
I love that. And I think of eggs as being a symbol for life. Yeah. So I like that that's something that started at the beginning of your relationship.
It's very moldable and changeable. You can do so much with eggs. This wasn't always my go-to egg situation. He would make me fritters. I was in a fritter phase for a year. Frittatas for a year. The poached egg thing, that lasted for 3 years. And he was
that one stuck.
Yeah, he has this marsala. It's what does he call it? It's like a garam marsala. So essentially a seasoning that he made that he just keeps adding and detracting from. And no, we don't really know what's in it anymore. Because it's been years of this.
It's like the pot that has just been, you keep adding to the soup. So it's like 50-year-old soup.
Exactly. And he always adds this seasoning to like all of our egg dishes. And it's so good. Okay. It doesn't matter if it's a poached egg. It doesn't matter if it's a frittata. It doesn't matter if it's fritters. It doesn't matter if it's anything. It's just so good. And it's kind of like almost like a thesis in our entire journey together because he started that marsala when we started. So, yeah.
Are you a breakfast for dinner kind of person?
If you give me an egg dish, I'm here for it. Listen, here's how bad it is. We've been to fancy restaurants and I had seen their like egg dishes online, like a breakfast situation, like a really cool omelet or something. And we get there and they're like, oh, we only serve that for breakfast. And you know what we'll do? We will take our napkins, we will fold them up, we will put them back on the table and we will stand up and we will leave. Oh my God. So yes, I am a breakfast for dinner type of gal.
You know what? I appreciate that because when I was a kid, I remember going to restaurants sometimes like with my mom and we would sit and same thing. We would like sit down and we would look at the menu. This was before the internet, before you could like see a menu before you got there. And we would look same thing and we'd be like, we're not in the mood for any of this. Yeah. And we would do the same. We would like quietly get up and just sneak out, you know, before like we had been served or anything. Yes. And I remember telling people this, and they were like, that's so rude. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not like we used up any of their money or their time.
Right. You know what would be, you know what would have been ruder, especially if it was like like a highfalutin restaurant. What would have been ruder is if you ordered food and you didn't like it. So you asked them for salt or ketchup. Like that would have been rude.
Do you think it's rude to ask for salt or ketchup?
It depends. Okay. First of all, I think it's rude to ask for ketchup, like period. But salt, it depends on the restaurant. Because their whole thing is they're making it to taste. They're making a piece of art.
Yes.
It's like buying art and then right in front of the artist, like going like, I'm going to just put red here because this was better.
And that was Lachi's last meal. This was so much fun. Thanks for giving me so much time. I could talk to you all day.
All day?
We're best
Are you sure you're not from New York?
Every single day. You know what? My mother's from New York. Her whole family. My grandmother looked and talked like the coffee talk lady. So I've got you.
I love.
My grandma literally would say my skin is like butter. And I'm like, she said it first.
I love it.
My grandma wore Wet and Wild makeup with like green eyeshadow. And
wait, where in New York was she from?
So she grew up in the tenements in the 1920s, so in like the Lower East Side. But then my mom was born in the Bronx, and then they moved to Brooklyn, and that's where they were.
You're like you really have New York heritage.
Oh yeah. Pick up Lachi's new book, I Identify as Blind. She is on book tour right now, and you just heard how vivacious and funny and poignant and smart she is. So you're going to want to be in the same room with her. She also sells her bling canes on her website. Go to lachimusic.com. Her name is spelled Lachi, or find a link in the show notes. Thanks to Rosh, founder of The Blind Cafe. Your Last Meal is a product of Seattle's Cascade PBS. Go to cascadepbs.org to become a member, and for as little as $7 a month, you'll get on-demand access to all PBS programming while supporting local public media. This episode was produced by me and senior producer Sarah Bernard, who also mixed and mastered it. Original theme music by Prom Queen. Make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. It's called The Nosh Newsletter. It comes out every other Wednesday. If you listen to the Nico Case episode, you know we talked a lot about popovers. And in the newsletter that came out after that episode, I shared a recipe for popovers gifted to us by the most enthusiastic popover baker in the world, who was featured on the episode. Go to cascadepbs.org/Nosh newsletter to sign up or find a link in the show notes. I'm Rachel Belle, and this is Your Last Meal. Can you talk about the title? I identify as blind.
Sure.
Hello?
Peppers, maybe.
Oop, can you hear me?
Yeah. Uh-oh.
You cut out right after you said, my last meal would be, and then it went silent for a little bit.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, I wonder.
Oh, okay.
I know.
All right.
I was like, oh, she's doing a dramatic pause. Oh, it's a very long dramatic pause.
It's very
Oh.
dramatic. Actually, I went
It's
ahead
a
and
9-month pregnant pause.
Gotcha. No, here we go. Ready? Okay. So